Hey there, I'm Chris. I am so excited that you are tuning in today. We are in a series called Got Questions, which means we are answering a huge, really big question this week. First though, let's ease our way in with a smaller question. Our question of the day. Ready? Our question of the day is, what is something you love talking about? What a great question. Go ahead and think about your answer, and if there are other people there, make sure you find out their answers too. I'll think about my answer while we wait. Got it? Great. For me, I think my answer would be soccer. I feel like I could talk about it for hours. Sometimes, though, we think one way about something, we like it or we don't like it, and our friends think completely differently about it. What do we do then? Well, that's the same question Becca and the Source team are asking today. Let's find out what happens.
Hey everyone, I'm Becca. I'm excited to answer another huge question you've sent in. Let's find out what it is. Alright, Damien sent this one in. My friend Carl doesn't like basketball and I love it. We got into a big argument about it because he won't play, but that's like the most fun thing I do. I think I'm right and he still thinks he's right. Can we even keep on being friends? What a great question, Damien. Can we still be friends with someone when we disagree with them? What if they don't like pineapple on their pizza? And that's like my favorite topping. What if they're a cat person and they don't like my pet? It's okay. I still love you. Okay, what if they don't like the show? That's my absolute favorite. I mean, there are a lot of things we might argue about, but what if we just don't agree? Today in The Source, Gabby and Bowie are going to have a disagreement. Let's see how they take care of it.
Somewhere on this wall is the identity of Bouncy the Badger.
Hey, Gabby, what's up?
Well, you know, the huge. Just making a plan to figure out who Bouncy the Badger is.
Oh, that's great. I'm always up for another plan. Any idea who it is?
Yeah, I've got it narrowed down to a few names.
Oh, yeah, you do. Look at that. Oh, Fred's down there. Axel, Dylan. You think it could be Wendell?
Yes. So I need you to get a disguise and go follow him.
Right. Okay, for sure. I am on it. Oh, quick question. What do you plan to do to Bouncy when you find him?
Extinction.
I'm telling you, Miss Main, it's a great idea. Snack time in class will help the students' energy.
You're gonna have a hard time convincing the teachers of that.
But think of the students, Miss Main. What's going on here?
Oh, just figuring out the identity of Bouncy the Badger.
And why do you care?
Because instead of using money to help the Source, the school decided to use that money and fund Bouncy. Look, we're a student-run paper. We're talking about important things. We're interviewing important people, and for the past 2 years, we've been doing it out of a basement.
I like this space. It's a cool hangout spot.
But it could be more than just a hangout spot. I mean, just look. Look at how professional these papers from other schools are.
Oh, they look good, but I don't think you're gonna be able to do it. I heard they're about to upgrade Bouncy's costume.
That's even more money put towards Bouncy. Miss Main, we need to do something.
Okay, Gabby, here's a challenge. Write all your ideas in a proposal and write to the school board and tell them why they should invest in the paper.
They're not gonna listen to me.
Well, you never know until you try.
Can you help me?
Of course.
If you two are working on this, Bouncy doesn't stand a chance. I'm gonna miss Bouncy. He always made me laugh with his flips and weird voices.
Where's Gabby?
I don't know, I haven't seen her.
Of course.
You look furious.
Oh, you have no idea how furious I actually am.
Why are you furious?
You want to know?
Sure.
You really, super really want to know?
If it means you stop making crazy faces at me, then yes.
Gabby has become my mortal enemy.
Hold up, what?
Yeah, she's betrayed me.
What did she do?
She's trying to get rid of Bouncy the Badger.
I think she's just trying to get more money for the paper. And since when did you care about Bouncy?
Bouncy the Badger is a national treasure.
I don't think everyone in the country knows who Bouncy is, let alone enough people to think that he's a treasure.
Okay, well, he's a treasure in this school.
Dude, it's just a mascot. Why do you even care?
Because I'm Bouncy the Badger!
What?
Yes, there it is. It's out in the open, and I saw it!
I don't even know what to say.
It's not funny.
It's hilarious.
You need to stop trying to get rid of me!
I am just trying to get more money to make our paper better, and the school's gonna use those funds to buy Bouncy a mega expensive costume.
What? Really? I didn't know that. That's so cool. You need to stop ruining my career!
It is not a career. It is a mascot, and it needs to go. We can use those funds for better things, like making our paper more legit.
But
Conversation over.
fine. You know what this means?
That you and Gabby are fighting over something super bizarre?
No. This means war!
As you can see, even good friends like Gabby and Bowie don't always get along. We're going to hear the rest of their story in just a moment. But first, I've got a couple questions that I want you to think about. If you're with a bunch of people, then you can pause the video and talk about these questions. But even if you're just watching this by yourself, I'd love for you to pause the video and think about your answers to these questions. Ready? Here's the first question. Do you think Bowie and Gabby will ever agree about this Bouncy the Badger thing? If they don't ever agree, what do you think they should do? Alright, that was question number 1, but I've got another one for you before you pause the video. Have you ever wanted to do something one way, but your friend or your family member wanted to do it a different way? What happened? Alright, you can go ahead and pause the video and think about those 2 questions and talk about them with anyone else who is there. I'll wait right here for you to unpause the video. I'm ready, okay? Ready to go? Great. Next, Becca's got a story for us about 2 people in the Bible who disagreed.
Hey again! We're all going to disagree with someone sometime, but what happens then? We think we're right, they think they're right. What do we do? Well, there were plenty of people in Bible times who had to figure out what to do when they disagreed too. The first churches were filled with people who followed Jesus, loved God, and cared about each other. They did so many great things and always got along. I wish. The truth is, they had some problems. They disagreed about a ton of things, like what foods to eat. Where's the pineapple? Didn't we talk about this? They also disagreed about big things, like who could be a part of the church. Yes, you're in, and why don't you go somewhere else, okay? See if, okay. Sometimes they could work out their differences, and sometimes it wasn't so easy. Other times, though, people just argued, and they both thought they were right. Have you ever had an argument like that? Maybe you and your brother or sister argue about what show to watch. Maybe you disagree with someone who listens to music you just can't stand. Maybe you know people who disagree about who to vote for to be president. Maybe you disagree with a friend about what sports team is the best. In all of these things, no one is totally right or wrong. Instead, both people are probably kind of right. What do we do when that happens? Well, once, when two women in one of the first churches had a huge argument, a leader named Paul wrote some advice for them in a letter. Paul could have written, "I'm so wise, I'm always right, just listen to me." But Paul didn't do that. Instead, he wrote, "Here's what I'm asking them to do. I'm asking them to work together in the Lord." Paul didn't tell them to pick who was right, and he didn't tell them to just avoid each other either. Instead, Paul wrote that because God loved both of them. They could work together even though they disagreed. It was more important to be friends and follow God together than it was to win the argument. That's what I want you to remember today. We can disagree and still be friends. Now, if someone is hurting us or wants us to do something wrong, that's someone we should stay away from. But if we just disagree with someone, we can still be friends with that person. Let's see if Bowie and Gabby can figure out their disagreement in The Source.
Oh, it's just you. Good. I'd rather it be you than some other person or animal.
Do you mean Bowie?
I would appreciate it if you would never say his name when I'm in the room again, and would like it if you would never say any of these other names or disguises.
Well, not even Delivery Dave? This is getting out of hand.
I think it's perfectly in my hand.
You guys are going to end your friendship over something that's not even important.
Not important?
Yeah.
How can you even say that? I'm trying to get money to make our paper better. Don't you want a new computer?
I like this computer.
It's from the last century, Jesse.
It was a good century. Hello?
Goodbye.
Can't we all just get along?
No! I'll return when he isn't here.
Well, okay. Well, you won't even know when I am here. What, you won't even know I'm here at all. I'll be like a shadow.
Dude, you gotta end this fight.
That I cannot do.
But it's Gabby, you're friends.
Not anymore. She's ruining my life.
Well, not your life, just Bouncy's.
Bouncy is all I have left.
And she's destroying me!
Dude, the paper just needs more money. Gabby's trying to help us.
Well, she's not helping me.
It's just a mascot. It's not worth losing a friend over.
Just a mascot? Jesse, think of all the times that I've cheered for you. Ooh, Badgers, go, Badgers, gah!
All right, I mean, you do make me laugh, but Gabby makes some good points too.
I'm starting to wonder whose side you're really on.
No one's. You're both my friends.
You are a traitor! And Bouncy does not hang out with traitors. See ya!
Of all the weird things that happen in here, this is by far the weirdest.
Trixie, you said you wanted to see me. Are you okay? You are not Trixie.
Nope.
Oh no.
Jesse, I'm glad you finally came to your senses and decided that Oh no. This is a trap!
Yup.
I'm not talking to you.
Well, good. Well, I'm not talking to you.
Okay, Jesse told me what's going on, and this, not worth it.
You brought in Miss Main.
You left me no choice. I'm tired of all the fighting.
You went to a teacher? That's mega level.
Okay, before we go ultra mega level, let's sit down.
Now that Miss Main's here, my job's done.
Wait!
You can't leave.
Watch me. I learned it from watching you. Peace.
Now, do the two of you really want to stay mad at each other?
Miss Main,
I
I'm
think
right.
so. You,
Hey! You two are acting like preschoolers.
No, I'm not.
R2, tell him, Miss Main.
Listen to yourselves.
Gabby killed Bouncy.
Okay, let's take the drama level down, just a tad. Now, Gabby is doing good things for the newspaper. She's trying to get us better things. New disguises, a computer that's not the one I used when I was in high school.
But I thought
now,
that-
although Gabby is doing wonderful things, Gabby, you should have at least considered your friend's feelings.
Why? I'm right.
Because although you despise Bouncy the Badger, it is very important to Bowie.
So who's wrong?
Well, you're both about to end your friendship because you disagree with each other. That's very wrong.
So what do we do?
I think Miss Main's gonna break us.
Now, these two puzzle pieces, they don't look alike. Let's say they disagree. This puzzle piece can be like, why can't you be more like me? And this puzzle piece can be like, why can't you be more like me?
Good voices, Miss Main.
Thank you. Acting. Now, because these two puzzle pieces aren't alike, maybe they don't want to be in the same puzzle together. But when they connect, despite their differences, they get to be part of the bigger picture. Now, I'm not saying that you two always have to agree, but when you're not getting along, look at the bigger picture around you, your friendship, what you're doing together. Make that more important than your individual piece.
You know, I bet we could use a better newsroom.
And I could have not been mad at you for being Bouncy. I mean, I might not like Bouncy, but I do like the person in the costume. I'm sorry, Bowie.
Me too.
That was a really good lesson, Miss Main.
I've thrown away a lot of good pieces in my life because I didn't agree with them. Trust me, not worth it. The bigger picture, always better.
Do you want to put the puzzle together?
Yeah.
You know, I wonder what this is going to look like when it's done. Oh.
Have you ever disagreed with a friend? I think all of us have, but there was something that Becca said that I think all of us can remember today. We can disagree and still be friends. That can be really difficult to do, but it's something that good friends absolutely have to do. So what does that look like? How can we disagree and still be friends? Well, it starts by figuring out how important the thing you're disagreeing about is. Because not everything is as important as everything else. We've got a little tool to help you do that. This first circle represents things that are super important. In fact, these are things that will never change. These are things like believing in God, following Jesus, and loving our families. If someone argues about these things with us, we can listen to them and respect them and talk with them, but we can also let them know, hey, what I think about these things is never going to change. And if they're not someone who can respect that you feel that way, they might not be a person you want to spend a lot of time with. You know, even disagreeing on these super important things doesn't mean we can't treat someone with respect and treat them like a friend. But if somebody is trying to hurt you or get you to do or believe something that you know is wrong, it's probably a wise choice to stay away from that person and to tell a grown-up about what's going on. Not all of the things that I argue about with people are those super important things, though. We've got another ring on this circle that represents things that are pretty important to us, but they're also things that we can talk about. If someone disagrees with us about one of these things, we don't have to just give up and say that they're right, but these also probably aren't important enough things to stop being friends with someone over. One example of this is who someone is voting for to be president. That's super important, but it's also something we can talk about. Not everyone is going to think the exact same way about that, and that's okay. Another example of this is churches that love God, follow Jesus, just like we do, but do some things a little differently than we do. Following God and loving Jesus will never, ever change, but things like the songs we sing are things that we can talk about with others. We don't have to be angry if someone thinks differently about that than we do. When we disagree with someone about one of these things, the thing to do is stop and listen to what they have to say before trying to tell them what you think. You just might find out that they have a good point. There's a third ring, though, and sometimes the things I argue about with people fall into this third category of things that are just not that important. When a friend plays a board game with different rules than you do, or you argue about which sports team is better than the other one, those things can be fun to talk about, but they shouldn't make us not be friends with somebody. We can talk about those things, but if we get mad or upset about them, we can also choose to let them go. That doesn't mean just saying, oh, you're right, oh, my friend is right about everything. That's not what we're saying. But we can choose to let go of that problem and love the other person, even when we disagree. I want to pray with you in just a moment, but first you should know there are some things right underneath this video that are awesome for you to do. There are some questions you can answer with your family, there are some fun activities you can do, and ways to dive even deeper into this lesson. So next, why don't we close our eyes, fold our hands to show respect to God, and then talk to Him. God, you are amazing. Thank you for leading us. Thank you for every person watching this video right now. Help us to know you better, to learn more about you every day, and to be good friends and family members, even when we disagree with others. In your name, amen. All right, thanks for watching, everyone. Have a fantastic week.